Good evening. This is a meeting of the Township Committee, August 17th, 2026. The notice requirements provided for in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given by transmission to the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times and by posting at the Middletown Township Municipal Building and filing with the Township Clerk all on January 9th, 2026. Committeeman Clark.
Here.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Here.
Committeeman Sedembrino.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Here.
Mayor Perry.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence to honor the troops serving worldwide, defending our constitutions, freedoms, and way of life. Thank you. At this time, we're going to have a presentation to honor the last meeting of our Township Administrator, Tony Mercantante.
Come on down, Tone.
Thank you for that. Come down.
See, normally when Heidi says those things, Tony just starts, figuring out which email he's going to respond to while we do that. Tone, you got quite a number of friends in the audience and elected officials and individuals that you've worked with over more than 4 decades of time here in Middletown in your career. This is a hard day for me. Really hard, because after 4+ decades in and working for the Township of Middletown, Tony Mercantante, or as I often yell down the hallway, Tone, Merc, help, is going to get his well-deserved retirement after leading our municipality. So Tone, congratulations. Thank you. It's when I first walked in to the Township Committee in 2017. Tony was obviously one of the first members of the staff that I sat down with and got to understand all the happenings of the township. And over those now 9 years, Tony Mercantante is not only a guy that I got to work alongside for that amount of time. He's become a mentor to me. He's become a guy I can rely on, a guy who can rely on me calling him at 7 o'clock on, Friday night or, 7 o'clock in the morning. But he's become an incredibly close friend. My kids all grew up in the old building, in this building. And Tony held each of them as almost a rite of passage in the old mayor's office. Because Tony Mercantante is Middletown. There is not a decision that has been made from a planning perspective, a administrative perspective, that Tony hasn't had dealings with in 46 years. And I'm incredibly grateful, not only for what information, story, event, history, whatever the case may be, Tony Mercantante always knows why a street did this, why a property line looks this way. Tone, who's really going to miss you most is Google Earth and the maps that you pull up. Because there's never been a guy that loves maps more than Tony Mercantante. But Tony Mercantante, of all things, is a genuine, good man with a great family, with roots here that Middletown will forever be grateful for because of everything you have brought to this town. I've tried to pretend like this day was never going to come, often tried to convince them that it was a really dumb idea to retire at such a young age. But you see in this front row, above all else, Tony's kids and his grandkids are his life, his family. Amelia and I sat next to each other at Take Your Kid to Work Day, which feels like it was yesterday, but it was really, you know, you were about this tall at that time. But I'm gonna miss this guy like a brother. I'm gonna miss him like one of the greatest assets that I could have asked for in 8 years as the mayor and 9 years on this governing body. Tony, it's been my absolute pleasure. And you can see by all the elected officials that are here today, past and present, county, state, that you've made an impact that goes well beyond the 42 square miles of Middletown. Congratulations, my friend. Now, keeping things from Tony is the hardest. Because normally I will yell down that hallway and say, we need to do this, we need to do that. So Laura and Shannon have really bared the brunt of trying to do this because there are several things, Tony, that we have for you. And I brought up maps and bringing up Tony's love for maps. And I'm scrolling through Instagram and I'm like, what do you get Tony Mercantante? What's really gonna be his thing? And I'm scrolling through and I see this unbelievable company and what do? And you know, Tony, you know, is a techie too, to some extent. He loves the new trendy thing that's happening, the beachcomber that is an electronic robot, you know, all these different things that you can really do. So Tone, we have obviously a few gifts for you today, but first and foremost, we wanted to give you something that could really encapsulate that techie side of Tony Mercantante, along with reading maps. How you do that other than Google Earth, like I mentioned, I'm not really sure. But Tone, on behalf of the Township Committee, we wanted to give you this 3D printed map of part of Middletown, and with highlighted on there, Town Hall, because without you, this building certainly would not have gotten underway. And so you can give us the history of all these different neighborhoods, including, but we'll wait till after the meeting for that. But one thing in the many world conversations, dilemmas of the day, challenges that we face, we searched long and hard for the original application that Tony signed when he was the planner. And while doing this, I said to the company that made this, how do I get this Brandywine neighborhood at least partially in there? Because that was the first application that Tony had worked on. So Tone, this is just a small gesture to you. We know that, well, you love telling everybody where the sewer line goes down this block. So you can do that on here too. Peggy is really interested in all that information. So real quick, let me take this off here. So, Tone, obviously you've been present for a lot of keys to the city, and we obviously wanted to present you with a key to the city, because Joe on September 1st is shutting off your badge to the front door, so so you're gonna have to use that one if you can pry it off of that plaque. But Tony has spent 46 years working for this municipality, and I think we can take just a few moments to go over his career for him. Anthony P. Tony Mercantante has dedicated more than 40 years of exemplary service to the Township of Middletown and its residents, serving with professionalism, integrity, humility, and an unwavering commitment to public service. Tony began his career with Middletown Township in 1980, and after leaving to pursue his master's in public administration in California, we forgive you for that, he returned to Middletown and continued to a distinguished career that included serving as the planning director and ultimately as the township administrator and the director of public safety. As a professional planner, Tony helped shape Middletown's future through his work on the 1993, 2004, and 2004 master plans, authored its first open space plan, helped implement the Middletown Open Space Trust, and championed numerous open space acquisitions and historic preservation efforts. Tony's innovative approach to municipal government resulted in lasting improvements throughout Middletown, including the Normandy Park Soccer Complex, the Veterans Village, and the establishment of an in-house township engineer, which saved nearly $1 million in its first year. Sorry about that, Ted. Tony also played an instrumental role in the construction of Middletown's new town hall through an innovative public-private partnership that saved taxpayer dollars, expedited construction, and brought nearly all township departments together under one roof. Tony's extraordinary dedication was never more evident than during Superstorm Sandy, when despite the destruction of his own home, he spent 12 days at the township's Emergency Operations Center coordinating recovery efforts and personally helping residents navigate the difficult process of rebuilding their homes and their lives. Throughout his career, Tony's steady leadership, institutional knowledge, kindness, professionalism, and devotion to this community earned him the respect and admiration of elected officials, colleagues, employees, community partners, and our residents, leaving a lasting legacy that will benefit Middletown for generations to come. Therefore, I, Mayor Tony Perry, and the Middletown Township Committee do hereby proclaim that August 17, 2026 be known as Anthony P. Mercantante Day in the Township of Middletown in honor of his retirement, and extend our deepest gratitude for over 40 years of outstanding service, leadership, and devotion to our community. We congratulate Tony on his well-earned retirement and wish him and his family continued health, happiness, and success. Congratulations. So finally, on the agenda tonight, Tony doesn't know this. He probably thought he was adding my own name to the list of people that are able to get roads named after them, but I'm not quite done yet. But tonight on the agenda, Heidi had to hide the resolution, the ordinance doing this. But Tone, I think after 46 years, you got a key to the city. Why not add your name to the list of streets that are now eligible in Middletown Township? And now, I really wanted to say Merck's Way, but Kira told me there were a couple legal problems with that. The apostrophe was the hardest part, right? But Tone, your place in history will forever be placed on one of the many streets that our town will call home. So, so just don't vote no later. I'll hold this for you. You want to speak?
I don't know exactly what to say, but you know, I consider myself really lucky to have had this many years in this community. It's really interesting to, you know, work in your hometown. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good, because you run into people all the time and they're online at the grocery store or whatever, and they want to talk business. And I actually never really minded talking business except for occasionally. But you know, I was raised here, my family was raised here. We all turned out reasonably well. And so, you know, I thought it's a great place to raise my family. And I think the thing that I I think of most is that, you know, when I started out, Middletown was a well thought of place to live. And now it's even more well thought of as a place to live. People want to live here. They maintain good property values and all that. And that's only because we've been able to maintain a quality of life in town that is still high. Now, it isn't always easy. People don't like things to change, but change is inevitable. We just have to learn to deal with it and not try to buck it. So, you know, I'm really appreciate, I did some math, and I've worked with about 160 different elected officials in my career. And this will be my just over 1,300th evening meeting. But I've loved all the people I've worked with on the township committee. I give township elected officials, by the way, a ton of credit for what they do, because it's pretty much a thankless job. Occasionally they get thanked for things, but most of the time they're going to get grief for things. And there's no financial reward for them. It's simply a time you're going to serve your community and give of yourself and, you know, kind of get beaten up for it on a pretty regular basis. So I have great respect for all the elected officials I've ever worked with. And going back, I see Rosemary Peters here. Rosemary was one of the really special ones that I got to work with over the years. Very, you know, wise person who I could always count on for some good advice. And Jerry Scharfenberger, just a great guy. For those of you who haven't got to meet Jerry, he's just a great guy. People don't realize it. You know, you got to get to know him a little bit. Well, it's true. I mean, you know, Jerry's a little, you know, stiff at times, but I guess what I mean is people.
I can't fire him now.
Just so you know, I can't wait for Fury.
Well, people always think of Jerry that way, is what I'm saying. And he's just really a good person, a good human being. Yeah, Tony Fiore. No, actually, I think
This is a PG show, Tom.
no, I like to get. I like the idea that I get some credit for having created this building, but I've always said that it wouldn't have happened if it weren't for Tony Fiore, because he's probably the best numbers person I've ever met and worked with. He's really, really analytical. And the only way this was going to happen is if we could prove that it was financially desirable, financially beneficial to the community. Because you're going to spend $72 million and figure out how to make it financially beneficial to the community. It's not easy. But Tony was able to see 10 years down the road, not just what's next year. And he played a huge part in this building becoming a reality. So I really always appreciated that. And the current township committee, we've had a great relationship with, great meetings, and we've accomplished a lot. Did I leave this guy out? Yeah.
Still PG show, Tom.
No, so, you know, the town's been fortunate to have a mayor these past 8 years who's so engaged in the town. It's not easy to do. This is a lot of time, a lot of personal time that you have to devote to this job. And Tony was probably able to provide more of that than just about anyone ever. And he's going to be sorely missed should he get elected to the County Board of Commissioners. He'll be missed in this town, but he'll be a great addition to the county. And the whole of Monmouth County will benefit from him being there. So, and lastly, I just want to thank all the people I've worked with at the staff level. You know, I had great people to work with, department heads. I just love working with them and solving problems with them and coming to solutions up with things. And I'm going to really miss that probably most of all. But I'm not going anywhere. I'll be in town. I'll be around. If anyone needs me, just reach out.
I'll let you go first. Since I want people to see you're really not that stuffy. He's actually a good guy. Jared, please go first.
He's actually a good guy.
Hi, everybody. Here. But, this is a day, and we've all been saying it, that we never thought we'd see come. And Tony's one of those guys that you just can never imagine, working, the town being without. And perfect example, this morning I was on a Zoom meeting and Tony was there. And I'm looking at, that little box he's in, and I'm thinking, after tonight, who am I gonna call, And it's really, amazing to think of this, but that's the good thing, because we got so used to having somebody we can rely on. And when you're in this position, this elected position, you really need people around that you can depend on, who really know what they're doing, because in a short time, you have to know a lot about a lot. And you're not going to be able to do that unless you have people around you who are really knowledgeable and experienced, and Tony's got that 100 times more than anybody else I've ever worked with. And I never saw him lose his temper or anything at meetings. He was always professional. And trust me, people can come up and press your buttons like you can't believe. Perfect example. And there was something, and it probably had to do with affordable housing quotas or something like that. And one of the typical gadflies gets up and starts spouting off about how we're doing everything wrong, and you did this, you did that. And Tony gets up and he corrects him. And he said, the gadfly says, "Are you saying I'm lying?" And Tony says, "I didn't say you were lying. I just said you were wrong." And totally deflated the guy without being disrespectful. And I'm sitting there laughing to myself thinking, thank God, because that's the way he handled things. And if you knew if Tony said something, you knew it was solid and it was accurate, and it came from a wealth of experience. So we kept a lot of us out of trouble and really kept the town on the straight and narrow. And one of the reasons that we got rated in Money Magazine top 50 places to live in the country is because of Tony's expertise and his advice to us. And it happened over and over again. And not only us here, but the whole township of Middletown, all the people who've lived here and gone on, owe you an enormous debt of gratitude. We can't say enough, but hopefully your retirement will be as rewarding as your work time with us, and we really appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Ray.
I promise you, I'll spare you this, but I'm just going to read the first paragraph and the last, because they're pretty much the coolest ones. Everything else is a bunch of whereases. Whereas the Senate and General Assembly of the state of New Jersey are pleased to recognize Tony Mercantante, the highly esteemed administrator of the Township of Middletown, Monmouth County, upon the, I can't pronounce this word, occasion of his retirement from a distinguished career following 46 years of dedicated public service. And whereas within all spheres, Tony Mercantante has established a model worthy of emulation and set a standard of excellence towards which all others may strive. Therefore, be it resolved by the Senate and General Assembly of the state of New Jersey that this legislature hereby congratulates Tony Mercantante upon his well-deserved retirement, pays tribute to his meritorious record of leadership and dedication, and extends sincere best wishes for happiness in all the days to come. And be it further resolved that a duly authenticated copy of this resolution, signed by the Senate President and Assembly Speaker and attested to by the Senate Secretary and Assembly Clerk, be transmitted to Tony Mercantante. Congratulations, Tony.
You can go ahead.
Thank you.
Jerry Red, on there. Read on.
So this is such an honor to be here. When Tony contacted Nick and myself to ask us if we would like to participate, it was very, very, I guess, close to my heart here. And there's a reason why that I think people probably, and most people in elected office, but for being there for such a long time, you would realize it. And I've been fortunate enough to be here for a very long time, whether it was 7 years in local level, then 8 years as a mayor, and then almost 17 years here on the county. And having some good successes in those areas. But it wasn't because of myself. It was because of the people you surround yourself with. And it's the people that take that day-to-day operations and to control those day-to-day operations for the best interest of whatever they're governing over. And I've been fortunate enough to see Tony and be part of Tony and deal with Tony on a regular basis. Obviously, Middletown being the largest municipality in our county and a very, 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 very important part of the landscape of how well Monmouth County is received here. And it's by the leaders. And I say this over and over again. You know, the word Monmouth County is 53 municipalities. But we're only as good as the 53 municipalities. If those 53 municipalities were not run well, people wouldn't be saying Monmouth County is the best county in the state of New Jersey to live in. Yes, we have our county government there that we have to do, but it's all just one big picture of success there that basically comes together. But it's those people that are behind the scenes that are making that happen. And there has been somebody here taking control of that, going through multiple mayors, different personalities of mayors, different personalities of chiefs, different personalities of public works administrators, and all administrative staffs there. People don't realize how difficult that is to keep things flowing cohesively there. But Middletown has, and it's under one person, and it's under Tony. So it was an honor. And believe me, Tony and I we had a lot of projects here in Middletown. We had times we agreed and disagreed on those projects, but the one thing that was consistent with Tony, his position on why he felt that way was very level-headed, and he had a very, very good reason why he felt that way. And most of the time, I would walk away, probably annoyed, but thinking he was right. And you know, I just think you're going to be sorely missed. I don't think, I know. You're going to be sorely missed, not just in Middletown, okay, but in the whole county. And that's what I think is extremely important, and was very important for Nick and I to be here today to say thank you, because we've done a lot together. I mean, of course, you've done more with the mayors of your towns, but you've also done a lot with the county.
Yes,
there.
for sure.
And we've been good partners, and we've worked together, and we hit some strides that people didn't think we could do, and we did. And I'm going to let Nick read the last part of this last sentence here. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's already been repeated, but I think what Tony said was very important. We're just going to add to that.
Yeah, so that's great. And again, just as Tom, as you said, you know, the success of Monmouth County is in the municipalities. All those years, Tony, thank you for leaving Middletown in such great hands. We know that the success is just going to continue because of the foundation that you laid. But this is a certificate that was passed by the county commissioners at our last meeting. Tom had to twist all our arms to pass it. But we got a unanimous vote, thankfully. I was just going to read a little bit. Renowned for his collaborative leadership, steadfast dedication, humility, kindness, and professionalism, Tony has earned the admiration and respect of colleagues, elected officials, employees, and community partners throughout Monmouth County. His enduring commitment to Middletown Township and its residents has created a legacy that will benefit generations to come. The Monmouth County Board of County Commissioners joins with Middletown Township in applauding his years of commitment and hereby proclaims today, August 17th, 2026, as Anthony P. Mercantante Day. Congratulations.
All right.
Thanks for that.
All right, everyone look at me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And now look at me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for everything.
bringing all this hardware down to you. Before it falls. Before we have a traffic jam on Mercantante Way.
Did you tell him that was a furnish only sign?
Yeah, I should have. Take it off Ted's plate, right, Ted? All right, Heidi.
Okay. For our next presentation on tonight's agenda, we have a presentation of the annual floodplain management update by Stacy Kraus.
Joe, am I going to be able to see the presentation? Format. Good evening, everyone. My name is Stacy Kraus, and I'm going to do our annual floodplain management and FEMA update for the year. This is a requirement that we have through our FEMA flood insurance program for the residents. So, next slide. So just really quick, what is the CRS? The Community Rating System. So this is a program by which the township completes certain tasks and does certain actions. As these actions and tasks are completed, they're audited by FEMA, and then by way of a point system, our residents get a flood insurance discount. So most of these tasks are building code related and kind of environmental land use related, but one of them is public information. So we are part of a multi-county program for public information. It is us with a few other towns in Monmouth County and Ocean County. The professionals in these towns create public information and public outreach on various topics like flood hazards, flood insurance, building codes, environmental issues. We give it to our public sector partners and they disseminate it throughout the region. And again, the broader our reach, the more points we could garner from FEMA. So who are our partners? They're insurance agencies, banks, real estate agencies. New Jersey Natural Gas will put flood insurance reminders and stuff and brochures with gas bills. And then also there are hazard and flood insurance promotions on the press communications radio stations, for example, Thunder 106 and B98.5. Oh, sure, sorry. Okay, thank you. So why is this work important? We have 7,500 residents and 3,000 homes in the town in the special flood hazard area. So this kind of encompasses our entire coastal region. If the town doesn't do these specific tasks, if we're not enforcing these building codes, if we're not enforcing these land use regulations, we don't just run the risk of our residents losing the flood insurance discount. We run the risk of FEMA actually coming in and canceling all of the federally backed flood insurance policies. So flood insurance is required with any federally backed mortgage, and then a mortgage company, even outside of the flood zone, if they deem necessary, could mandate flood insurance as well. And then again, a big part of this is the state building codes that we have to enforce. So our latest information as of the last week of July, our residents in the special flood hazard area receive a 15% discount on their flood insurance. Everyone else outside of that, a 5%. There are 109 towns in the state that participate in the CRS program, and we're number 22 in terms of flood policies, flood insurance policies in force. So we have over 2,000 of those. Our insurance in force is over $650 million. The average annual premium in town is about $1,200. And again, that's just the average. So some are much higher, some are much lower. And the majority of these policies are in the North Middletown neighborhood. Our priority audiences for public outreach, of course, are our current homeowners in the flood hazard area, new homeowners from out of town and out of state who are not aware of the flood risks, were not here for Sandy, may not have even been on the East Coast for Sandy. More recently, they're calling it the Netflix effect. So we already have people moving in town, buying homes, renovating homes who are going to be working in the greater Netflix area. And they want to add to these homes, they want to renovate them, and where do they want to live? They want to live on the water, right? Because it's an attractive place to live. We also have a lot of home flippers who come into town who, again, are don't really know about these regulations, and we're having to educate them. We do outreach to seniors who need to shelter in place or will need medical or evacuation assistance should a natural disaster happen. We also educate our real estate agents because they're kind of the first line of defense in terms of risk communication. So people from all over the country are calling them saying, I want to live in Middletown. I want to live by the beach. What's a good street? What can I do here? So we let them know of the rules and regulations that their clients are going to run into. And then, of course, the professionals who are hired by the homeowners to do the mitigation work, the FEMA mitigation works, and home elevation's very paper heavy. So the professionals, we educate the professionals who do that work. So some of our major public outreach activities that we did this year and that are ongoing, again, are the real estate agent education sessions. Over the summer, we sent out 158 repetitive loss letters to the homes in town. So repetitive loss homes are the properties that FEMA has deemed more high risk because they've made a certain amount of flood insurance claims in a certain amount of time. So we do annual outreach to them. And then we do our annual flood insurance promotion via Middletown Day. We had handouts at the Touch a Truck event, at National Night Out, and then this presentation tonight also counts for that public outreach. So just to kind of help everyone understand why this is relevant even today, not just since Sandy, but even last month in July, we had some record-setting rains throughout Monmouth County. I think some parts of Neptune even saw more than 6 inches of rain. And people were saying, my road never flooded. Now it's flooding all the time. Every time it rains, there seems to be a flood. So a lot of these storms that we're seeing are equivalent or coming close to the equivalent of the 100-year storm. So the 100-year storm is that kind of vast rainfall in a short period of time. And what we're seeing is the 100-year flood kind of effects of that, because as the rain falls, it needs that ground area to recharge in. So, streets, obviously the water's not infiltrating. Every time a sidewalk is expanded, roofs count as impervious surface, really thick rocks. So we're always kind of doing education, especially for homeowners, on how they can make their properties, better suited for these rains. So that'll be more important going forward as we're seeing these increased rain events. And these are just some pictures that we've been sent over the past month of, again, sidewalks and driveways and streets. Some of you may recognize Dave Chenoweth's house on the right on Texas Avenue. He's kind of my on-the-ground storm reporter every time there's a flood. And this is my last slide. So just to plug for our floodplain management website, all of the information that I've talked about tonight is up there. There's tips for homeowners. There's tips for people who want to elevate their homes, tips for people who can't elevate their homes, and some other small scale mitigation work they can do. We have over 800 documents on this website. So every FEMA elevation certificate we've ever received, we have real estate agents and homeowners that call us who are looking to purchase homes and want elevation certificates. So again, that's all documented up there for people to access. And then on the next slide is my contact information. If anybody wants to know their flood zone and doesn't necessarily want to use the website, you can certainly call me and ask. It's something I can get you pretty quickly. I can send you a copy of the flood maps, copies of elevation certificates, things like that. And then just to end, I just want to say thank you to Tony as a professional planner, and certainly through floodplain management, he has really been a great mentor to me. So thank you, Tony. And that's all. Thank you very much.
Any questions from the Township Committee for Stacy? All right, Stacy, thank you for all your work that you do on this. Much appreciated. And I know the residents getting the 15% discount on the NFIP appreciate all your work as well. All right, Heidi?
And we have the approval of minutes for April 28th, July 13th, and July 28th, 2026.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve minutes. Next item, we have the public hearing of proposed ordinances. Our first ordinance, 2026-3523, a bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $3,373,100 for various capital improvements by and for the Township of Middletown in the County of Monmouth, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $3,204,445 in bonds or notes of the township for financing part of the appropriation.
Any member of the public wishing to speak on public ordinance number 2026-3523? Seeing no member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and approve.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on second and final reading. Our next ordinance, we have 2026-3524, an ordinance amending the Township Code provisions governing certain wireless communications facilities on township or school district property.
Any member of the public wishing to speak on public ordinance number 2026-3524? Seeing no member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and approve.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on second and final reading. Next, we have 2026-3525, an ordinance amending Chapter 465-105 of the Code of the Township of Middletown governing weight limits on certain roadways.
Any member of the public wishing to speak on public ordinance number 2026-3525? Seeing no member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and approve.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on second and final reading. At this time, we have 2026-3526, a bond ordinance amending bond ordinance number 2022-3341, finally adopted by the Township Committee of the Township of Middletown, New Jersey on April 18, 2022.
Any member of the public wishing to speak on public ordinance number 2026-3526? Seeing no member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and approve.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on second and final reading. At this time, we have 2026-3527, an ordinance authorizing acceptance of deeds of permanent easement for installation and maintenance of utilities upon Block 1131, lots 30.01 and 32.02.
Any member of the public wishing to speak on public ordinance number 2026-3527? Seeing no member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and approve.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on second and final reading. At this time, we have introduction of proposed ordinances. Our first ordinance, 2026-3528, an ordinance authorizing acceptance of deed of shade tree, utility and roadway easement, deed of drainage easement, deed of site triangle easement, deed of right-of-way, and deed restriction upon Block 460, lots 2.01 and 5.01, and Block 461, lots 7.01 and 10.01 for 66 more.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held September 8th, 2026. At this time, we have ordinance 2026-3529, an ordinance of the Township of Middletown, County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, authorizing purchase of Block 50, Lot 17, Block 43, Lot 1, and Block 42, Lot 1 from St. Catherine Labor Church for a combined total purchase price of $50,100.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held September 8th, 2026. At this time, we have ordinance 2026-3530, an ordinance permitting special occasion events and on-farm direct marketing facilities, activities, and events on farmland.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held September 8th, 2026. At this time, we have 2026-3531, an ordinance authorizing agreement for purchase and sale of real estate for Block 832, lots 92, 92Q, and 93, in exchange for Block 835, Lot 18, for recreation and open space preservation purposes.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held September 8th, 2026. This time we have 2026-3532, an ordinance amending various sections of the Township Code governing township parks and recreational facilities.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark. Yes. Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held on September 8th, 2026. This time we have 2026-3533, an ordinance amending Chapter 465 of the Code of the Township of Middletown to address parking regulations along Main Street in Port Monmouth.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held September 8th, 2026.
No wonder why Merck's retiring before the September 8th meeting. We got all these ordinances on the agenda.
Yeah. Our final ordinance for introduction, we have 2026-3534, an ordinance establishing additional authorized street name for Mercantante Way.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held September 8th, 2026. At this time, I'd like to ask the Township Committee to adopt a consent agenda, which would include resolutions 26-228 through resolution 26-238.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt consent agenda.
Okay.
Before we go to public comments and Township Committee comments, we are going to administer the oath of office for two of our police officers. At this time, I'd like to invite, Police Officer Charles Honan to please come forward with your family.
Do you know this guy? Okay. Raise your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand towards God, and repeat after me. I, Charles Honan,
I, Charles Honan,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
And I do swear
And I do swear
to faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of police officer
of police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, officer.
Thank you.
All right, ready? All right, look at me. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
What badge number are you? 429.
429.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting more up.
What badge number are you, Paul?
289.
Okay.
I'm old.
All right, Heidi.
Okay. Next, I'd like to invite Police Officer Alyssa Vetrano to please come forward with your family.
I, Alyssa Vetrano,
I, Alyssa Vetrano,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
And I do swear
And I do swear
to faithfully,
to faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of police officer
of police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Shaking.
I'm trying to say mommy short.
Are you going to take a look picture?
Okay, I'll see.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of Chief Weber, Deputy Chief Warner, and myself, I just want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank the Township Committee and the members of the administration that are here. Their really unwavering support of the police department is something that is incredibly important and appreciated by myself, the Chief, Deputy Chief Warner, and really all the men and women in the Middletown Township Police Department. This is, for me and for John, this is a privilege that we get to be up here and be a part of this. Everyone that's in this room has witnessed something that is going to stick with these officers for the rest of their lives. I'm sure that I speak for the officers here, that we remember the day that we got sworn in. And the fact that, we all see the different images in social media and on the news and the knocks that law enforcement takes, but to see officers like Alyssa and Charlie that have decided to follow their calling and stand for this is really something that's remarkable. So again, thank you all that are here for your support. Thank you all for part of the community about this that are here for this support. We really appreciate it. Congratulations to Alyssa and Charlie. All right, dudes, get up here. Photo. Get 87 coffees.
Okay. Everyone look at me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Let's give another round of applause.
Yes, Township Committee comments.
All right, Committeeman Clark. Thank you, Mayor. First, it's nice to see such a great crowd in here tonight for a couple of different reasons. The first one is the retirement of our business administrator, Tony Mercantante. I've had the privilege of working with you, Tony, through two parts of my township service, one as a fire chief and one on the township committee. And through both of those iterations, I've always found you to be fair, honest, and sometimes, as it was discussed, there's difficult conversations with difficult ways to break things, but you always had your reason, and that reason was always backed up by fact. And that's something that I've been able to take forward through my career doing this, and it's something that I'll be forever grateful for you for teaching me. So I just want to say thank you for your 40 plus years of service and the influence you've had on me. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it.
To our two new officers, thank you very much. Thank you for committing your lives to keeping our town the safest place to be. You've got an amazing career ahead of you with some of the best officers I've ever got to meet, and I look forward to seeing how well you progress. One of the other things that I took notice of during this meeting is, and it doesn't happen very often, is we've got a ton of history in here right now. And they did come out for Tony. We have former mayors from the 1970s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, all the way up to today. And, part of the conversation that we have on a regular basis as elected officials is how do we try to keep our town the best way that we can? And I've had the privilege of growing up here for all 49 years of my life. And every one of the people sitting in this room served at one point or another, any of the elected officials during my entire life. And they've done an amazing job of keeping this town
really somewhere to be proud of, right? Whether it's our public service with the fire department, the first aid, the police department, our public works, whatever it is, those elected officials and everybody who supported them have had one mission, and it's to keep Middletown the best town we can keep it. We've been fighting for that as long as I've been on the dais, and I just want to take a moment to recognize the history down here and just say thank you for everything you've done. You've set a hell of a foundation for us to continue to try to push our town in the positive direction for the future. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Ryan. Committeeman Senabrino.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've been listening to all the comments, Tony, with regard to your time here, and I don't want to repeat anything, but this is year 16 for me. You're the only administrator that I've known here in Middletown, so you are Middletown to me. So thank you for all your guidance here. It's been amazing. But I have to tell you, one thing in all the comments that we've heard, every time there's an issue that comes up, you give us your response without any agenda. The agenda is the betterment of the town. And I have to tell you, Tony's position is, Tony holds the most non-political political position here in this town, right? So he's appointed by a political body, but his actions are as apolitical as possible. The only thing that Tony Mercantante does is to do things to make this town better. And that's fantastic. And no agenda, no nothing, always the calmest, calmer than most people up here, calmer than most elected officials all the time. I don't know how you do it. So congratulations on your retirement. So it was a privilege serving with you. Congratulations on your retirement. I hope to see you around. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, Committeewoman Kratz.
Thank you, Mayor. So Tony, you have been to my left this entire time that I've served as well, and you will be sorely missed. I've appreciated your kindness, especially when I was newly elected, and you took the time to meet with me and, to catch me up and get me up to speed on all that was happening in town. And I'll never forget that kindness. It was really touching to me and something that I won't forget. And I hope that, moving forward, you get to enjoy your time with your family in this well-deserved retirement. And I know you won't be too far because you're only a phone call away. So enjoy your retirement, and thank you so much for your service to Middletown, but also for your kindness and for your friendship to me.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Committeewoman Kratz. DM.
All right, I'm going to start with someone different. I'm going to start with the very important person behind Tony here, and that's Tony's wife, Peggy. So, Peggy, thank you for allowing this gentleman here to work with us for 46 years. I was very fortunate serving as fire chief like these fine gentlemen over here, and I got to work with this guy. Tough guy, but we were able to get through some tough things when I was serving. But the last 16 years between being fire chief and on the township committee, it's been a pleasure to serve with you, Tony. I want to make sure that I thank you because I know there's a lot of nights that I feel bad calling and I got a call and he answers the phone. So I don't want to make sure we don't forget you. So thank you. Tony, you've been the best, honest to God. There isn't anything that you don't know about. And when I was talking to him before,
I'd like to know if Peggy agrees with that, but
I'm only talking from the town perspective. I tell my wife I'm in charge at work. When I get home, I'm not in charge in any way, shape, or form. So I'm sure it works the same way at your house. So before the meeting started tonight, I went in to go see Tony just for a quick minute, and I said, Tony, we can keep on calling, right? And he says, yes, he did. So I'm going to lock him on that deal because there's like Tony said before, there's sewer lines we don't know about, but he knows about it. He knows about every little property purchase and acquisition and every hidden spot in this town and why we did certain things. So I can't thank you enough. It's a very special day. I know some people came late to this meeting here, but we recognized an amazing person, and I just want to thank you. My family wants to thank you for what you've done for the last 46 years. the best job that someone could do. Thank you. A couple more things, Mayor. I'm going to be fast. I see he's pressing a button. You see Mr. Carton, you're back there? He's trying to shut me down. I think he might have left. All right, so I want to give a shout out to our officers. We truly have the best, and it's great to see young people continuing to want to do this amazing job and choosing Middletown to work. So good luck to you. Thank you. I want to give a shout out to Ted. Everyone knows how I am about the roads. I'm going to point at Mr. Fiore over there because he didn't really say anything about half a mile road, West Front Street, some lights, some improvements there. I don't know if anyone's drove down that road. It's like glass. It's amazing. One of the best paving jobs I've seen in this township and something that's been very well needed. So thank you, Ted. I'm going to let Ted go into some, if anyone wants to know about the lights, they're all synced better now. It's supposed to help out with traffic. I think it is because I've been driving it a little bit and it feels better, but thank you. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Ted, we just let him believe that the lights were made for his convenience, right? Yeah. Yeah, no. Just finally, I'm going to say one thing. Tony still works here for the next 2+ weeks, so he's not going anywhere. So Rick, he's going to answer your call for the next about 2.5 weeks. But yeah, he can make it. Yeah. But again, Tone, this is the people in this room, the accolades that you received are well deserved, my friend. And once again, I'll continue to say thank you for everything you did for me and for Middletown. You really made it better, and your imprint is on this town for generations to come. So be proud of that, my friend. I'm going to open up for public comment. Any member of the public wishing to make a public comment may do so. We ask that you state your name and keep your comments to 5 minutes. At 4 minutes, I'll let you know that you have 1 minute remaining. With that being said, any member of the public wishing to make a public comment? Ma'am, she just said, I'm going to come to you next, okay?
Good evening, Mayor, and the
Good
rest of
evening.
the council. My name is Peggy Figuli. I was here at the last month's meeting. I'm at 7 Hagel Place, and I'm here to just comment again on the proposed auctioning of the lots in that area of Hagel Place. My first question to all of you and to anyone in the audience is that if you're going to buy a used car, are you going to ask for a Carfax? I would hope so, right? You want to know what's going on with the car, where it's been, if there's been any crashes or things like that. Well, I think there's some things that perhaps some of the developers are not aware of, and maybe even some of the councilmen, and you guys got a lot on your plate. So I have a couple of things here that I'd just like to let you know, neighbors know. And first of all, as we heard from the first young lady who spoke about the 100-year floods and everything else, the wetlands that are wetlands, and we do have pictures of the wetlands, destroying and building upon the wetland disrupts natural water storm and storage, and filtration. The water table drops locally, the underlying soil is compacted, and there can be no absorption and slow release of water, creating greater chances of flooding and resulting in a lower regional water table. As you may know, in 1969, I believe it was, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers came in and boosted up the dunes along that whole area. And they did it again after Sandy, even though there was no flooding in the area. Thank God, because we had that piece of property. But they finished that construction, the U.S. Corps of Engineers finished that construction in 2014. It was done under the Environmental Protection Agency. And I think everyone needs to know that this is a federal issue, not just a regional issue. In the immediate vicinity of the development, the water table can be pushed higher due to redirection of underground and surface flows. This results in less vegetation and habitat loss. Also, because there's going to be, or people want to have structures on there, the structural instability is also higher, we know, when building on filled-in wetlands, as shifting water table leads to structural issues and instability. Also, too, vegetation destruction and air quality. Vegetation destruction severely degrades air quality as plants are natural filters that remove toxic gases, pollutants from the atmosphere. The result is more carbon gas is released in the air, drastically increasing regional pollution levels. Trees absorb carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and ozone. Vegetation also stabilizes soil to prevent severe dust events. And if you think about West and the Big Dust Bowl, we know how that occurred. Vegetation destruction releases carbon, black carbon emissions, and causes air quality to drop drastically. Diminished air quality can lead to more severe respiratory and cardiovascular issues in that locale. So we're talking about the people that are already there and people who may hope to go there can be very much affected physically. Vegetation fragmentation and effects on temperature. Vegetation destruction significantly raises local and global temperatures as they are a source of natural cooling mechanisms.
I just want to let you know you have 1 minute.
Shade helps absorb solar radiation and the process of evaporation, plants releasing moisture into the air. Intact vegetation has a higher reflection of solar energy, whereas bare ground, asphalt, and concrete absorb the solar energy and radiate it as heat. Destroying vegetation releases stored carbon into the air, intensifying the greenhouse effect. Also, what may also not be known is that the birds located on this parcel, and I had mentioned them last time, the great horned owl, the eastern screech owls, mourning doves, great egrets, snowy egrets, and green herons, although they are not endangered, they are protected at the federal level by the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. And as we know, this parcel is also part of the Atlantic Coast State Wildlife Auction. What the dunes I had mentioned and the fragmentation of wildlife, often caused by roads and urban development, divides natural areas into smaller, isolated patches.
Ma'am, I don't know if you heard me. Your time is up.
You can finish your sentence.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Heidi.
Natural areas into smaller, isolated patches. It restricts their movement, limits access to food and mates, destroys their breeding grounds, and forces animals into dangerous encounters with the humans. It can also destroy the animals that need to survive. I have a list of about, I believe, 10 or 12 agencies that developers should, and sources that developers need to know that they will have to go through in order to develop and get okayed for their plan. And this is quite a number of people. So I again really push for the fact that this land, it's 1.1. There's a lot of other land out there that can be developed. I'm really pushing for this land to be preserved. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other member of the public? Yes, I'm sorry, sir. I forgot.
Thank you, Mayor Perry, Deputy Mayor. Congrats on your retirement. Many years of health and happiness. And sorry, he's going to be home now, right? Yeah. Anthony Minervini, I've been a resident of Middletown happily for 26 years. Have volunteered many hours, have coached at the Middletown North varsity football team. My sons graduated from there. We are and have been forever grateful for an amazing town. You know, I come from Secaucus, which is very small, very family oriented. So, you know, my family was a part of, you know, the committee as well. And where we deep rooted there. But when I left, everybody was like upset, but I wasn't, because it's such a great town down here. So I just wanted to bring up, I've been fighting for about maybe 4 or 5 years for the Hunters Point, Bonnie Drive area, for the roads to be looked at, to be, somewhat assisted or paved, and, to no avail. But recently, they fixed a few cracks because, UPS trucks and FedEx trucks and
Amazon.
School trucks and Amazon upon Amazon upon Amazon. Mayor, thank you. The house is actually shake in our development, and, I'm worried about gas lines and, things of that nature. And there were 4 cracks that were fixed, but not really. And then I go to, Devonshire and Cherry Tree Lane, and I see a whole area paved that really wasn't anywhere remotely near, our development. And for the last, 35 years that my in-laws across the street and the 26 that I'm there, it hasn't been touched. And I don't know what other steps to take other than.
I did get a few emails from your neighbors.
I'm sorry.
No, it's quite all right. And Ted and I and Tony were just talking about this because Middletown does have the opportunity, and Tom was just here, to get our own paving truck, which we are trying to do right now. But the one thing that I brought up to Commissioner Director Arnone was seeing if he and his crews of the county were able to assist us with paving that street, since it is the one that has not been paved. So I just need Joe Attore, the county engineer, and Tom to come back. So we'll have an update for you pretty soon.
Appreciate you, Mayor. Thank you.
You got it. No problem.
And thank you for the committee. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. I'll get you next. How are you, sir?
Good, thank you, Mayor Perry. Bill Donnelly from Port Monmouth, representing the Middletown Open Space Association. Three brief things, 1 question, 2 updates. I would like to add our gratitude to Tony. He offered to meet with leadership members of the association regarding 2026-3510, the auction of the 9 properties, and removed 6 of those near the Bowman Park neighborhood.
Yep.
As a result of researching deed restrictions that might interfere with the auction.
Yep.
I spoke to your office and sent an email asking for the committee to consider removing 1 more property, the Hagel property that Peggy was just referring to. I just wanted to see if you had a chance to read that email and had any status on it.
We did get it. Until the auction is over, I hesitate to respond and try and jeopardize anything. But the Township Committee has being that auction is not over, the Township Committee has not made any decisions or discussed anything about what the result of that auction is. So I would hesitate to respond until that was over.
Okay, so if I can understand the process, then when the auction is over and if there are bids on that property, what occurs at that point in time?
The Township Committee would then discuss whether or not to accept or reject those bids on those properties. Just because an auction occurs does not mean that the properties are sold. The Township Committee, based on the bids, would then have to make the determination as to whether or not they are willing to sell or reject the offers on that auction for those properties.
Okay, yeah, the reason I asked that is because
Kira, am I saying anything that's incorrect? Okay.
Okay, thank you. Because in the memo that we sent, which you had a chance to review, there are viable options for, as Tony mentioned, you're counting on the revenue in this budget cycle for some of those properties to be sold. There's viable options to achieve that objective without selling it to a third party in this auction. So when it comes time to review those bids, I would ask the committee to relook at the options that we provided, because there are, besides our association, which has over 100 members joined in the last 2 weeks, and we haven't even advertised anywhere. This is word of mouth. Like the committee, you have a great track record of protecting open space in Middletown. And this is relatively low lift compared to some of the work you've done to protect open space. This is one property, as Peggy pointed out, it's unlikely that it's buildable in the configuration that it's advertised in the auction. There are a number of issues which you've heard about last time we were here in the July meeting. And I would ask you to consider, it's within your authority to remove it from the auction. The ordinance is worded that way, as you did with the Bowman properties. So I'm not sure why you are rejecting that option, but I understand your point procedurally about waiting for the auction to be done, but I would ask you to seriously consider those other options. That property can be sold to local developers that will look to, if it's buildable, look to respect the environmental impact of it. We don't know if whoever's attending your auction will do so. We don't know if they're going to subdivide it. We don't know how roads are going to be configured. There's a lot of unknowns that if you let the project stay under local control in Middletown, it might be much easier.
You wouldn't be able to do that. You can't pick and choose who is able to bid and who's not. That's why it's an open bid process.
True, but you can remove it from the auction and sell it in another manner. It's your.
No, we can't.
You can't.
Actually, you cannot do that. That's against the law.
You can't.
I cannot pick and choose. The only times that the township can enter into a lease agreement or a sale of certain properties is when it has to do with a nonprofit organization, and even there's restrictions on doing it that way as well. But the township does not have the legal authority to pick and choose who has the ability to bid and who doesn't.
Right, but you have the legal authority to make deed restrictions on the property, and you have a number of other avenues that would accomplish what we put in the memo.
There are deed restrictions on this auction. We limited it so that you can't build multifamily. You can't build, on the Hagel Place in particular, that property is only able to build 3 single-family homes.
Based on the zoning. We didn't see deed restrictions. That's important.
That's the requirement that the township set forward to any potential buyer.
Okay, yeah.
You cannot build any more than 3 homes on that property.
Yeah. The auction sign says subdivision possible if a developer.
It would be subdivided into 3 sections.
Okay, yeah. So my time is okay? Yeah.
No, your time is up.
Oh, it's up? Okay, thank you, Mayor Perry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yep. How are you today?
Good, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
My name is Mary.
Hi, Mary.
How are you? I have a question about another property in
Sure.
Middletown, at the end of Tyndall Road where the clown is. I wanted to see if you could give me an update on the appeal that was in process.
It's still in litigation, so I would have to defer to Kira to provide an explanation because Kira is our township attorney. I know it says Brian Nelson, but she's not Brian Nelson, if you can tell. Brian is sick today, but it is still an active litigation, so I wouldn't be able to speak to it, unfortunately. Kira?
I agree. We're not going to comment on pending litigation.
Okay, then I probably have a couple more minutes. I'll ask some other questions.
Sure.
I was curious about Middletown. Maybe these ordinances exist, or maybe they don't. Does Middletown have an ordinance that monitors LLCs, the purchases of homes as LLC? And I think I understand that you can't stop someone from purchasing a home as an LLC, but does the town have some sort of policy or ordinance in place to track and monitor these homes?
Oh. Not that I'm aware of, that's why I'm looking at it.
No, we don't.
Okay, and then how would I or other residents go about requesting that you create one?
To do what, though?
To do exactly what I said, to track and monitor them for the purposes of, I feel like my thought process on this is to monitor purchases of homes under LLCs, and then their, the connection to the ADUs that are now allowed in town, just so that Middletown can have some sort of control over rental units, people living in homes, who the real owners of these homes are, just to prevent.
You're talking about short-term rentals?
Short-term, long-term, anything.
Okay.
You know, we can't prohibit anyone from buying a home.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And accessory dwelling units are only allowed if they're affordable units. You can't just build an accessory unit.
That brings up a good point. So all of these accessory units that are affordable, are they going toward the number that is
Yes.
required for Middletown? So that is being tracked in some way then, I guess?
Yeah.
The affordable units are attractive.
Okay. And when could I expect to get some sort of update on the appeal for the property that I initially spoke about?
Here.
When the litigation is settled or is otherwise adjudicated to its completion.
What's the timeline on that?
With litigation, it's hard to say. It's managed by the court. There are constant case management conferences. There's a public docket, so you would be able to review information that's publicly available at the docket, on the docket by going to the courthouse. But I wouldn't be able to comment further on that. But
What
it is
courthouse
being
do I go to?
Monmouth County. It's being managed by Monmouth County Court, specifically the judge who's assigned to Mount Laurel Affordable Housing Litigation.
Do I need to know some sort of docket number that you referenced before?
We could provide that. I don't have.
How do, like, I call the office in the morning and ask?
You can call my
The
office.
mayor's office or the legal office?
We'll get you the docket number. Laura's sitting right there. We'll make sure you
Okay.
get the docket number on
All
it,
right.
okay? She'll
Okay,
work with
thanks.
Kira in her office to get that for you. All right?
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Any other member of the public wishing to, yes, sir. Yes, you, yep. How are you today?
Good, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So my name is Jerry Bailey. I'm also here about the sale and forward development of Block 17 off Hagel Place. We've covered a lot of history tonight, and another element of that history, which you probably already know, is that Middletown was the first community in the state of New Jersey to establish an environmental commission. That was, I believe, in 1969, early 70s. Dr. Lynn Kipler was the chair of that commission, and I had the honor of serving on that commission in the 1980s. Tony, you were already involved with the township at that point. So
Well, that's just mean. You're not supposed to say that out loud.
I dropped off this letter to the township last Monday, and I brought extra copies.
You can hand it right to Laura right there.
Oh, okay. Okay. I wasn't sure if you wanted to make reference to them as I spoke, but I mean, I could read it as well.
She'll provide it to us after you're done.
Okay, but basically there's 2 points in it concerning the forward development. One is the importance of avoiding dune destabilization. I think that was touched on earlier as well in earlier comments, but it's hard to gauge whether an access road along the paper street would cause destabilization or whether it would have to be constructed further south. And the second was concerning the wetlands area and some of the history around that in terms of the pipe that's under Port Monmouth Road that feeds water from the wetlands on the other side as well. So both of those have to do with forward development. You could say, what relevance do they have at this point? Which really gets down to the bolded paragraph. As you complete the sale process, it would be useful potentially to communicate those points to the seller before you actually close on a sale. Because as its wording does not protect, well, there's certainly case precedent that it doesn't protect against non-disclosure of facts that are material to a property's value. So anyway, you can look at the letter later. But I just wanted to make sure it was noted.
I appreciate it, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll take a look at that. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other member of the public wishing to make a public comment? John?
Hi, John Spinelli, 91 Burlington Avenue. I'm going to try to make sure I keep it pretty quick, but I just wanted to say congratulations to Tony Mercantante on your retirement. I want to bring up a funny memory. You know, Tony has been a great mentor on the.
He's nervous now, John.
He's been a great mentor on the OS committee, and just from some questions I had about the township, and I've learned a lot about New Jersey state law and how municipalities actually work. I think the first time I had a question about Middletown. I was in high school, and he responded to my email. So I think that was the first time I interacted with him. And then the second time was, I remember somebody came up who had a question, I forgot what it was, but it was a question about some type of issue. And I remember it was about the New Jersey legislature. So you got a little fired up about the question. And then when
I have never done such a thing, get fired up over the New Jersey legislature.
And then I think Tony responded to the same question, but a lot more calmer, basically saying, well.
You should see him in my office when he talks about it.
Basically, along the lines of, well, this is how so-and-so, and, you know, something along those lines. But I just wanted to say congratulations, Tony. It's been an honor to serve with you and on some of the volunteer committees, and I obviously wish you the best. There was one issue I did want to just bring some awareness to. Obviously,
Doesn't have to do with the New Jersey legislature, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, good.
Well, indirectly.
Then I'll remain calm.
So obviously with the news today, there's been a lot of talks, not just specific to Middletown, but literally almost every municipality in the United States right now with AI data centers and flock cameras. And I just wanted to kind of propose, it might be a good discussion to talk about writing an ordinance as a memorandum to both of these. Obviously, the AI data centers, they're bad for the environment. A lot of communities, especially in the heartland of America, have been affected by these centers extracting water, also electricity from some of these communities. And the issues with flock cameras is these aren't just normal license plate reading cameras. A lot of these cameras, from what I've read, it's pretty much they're able to, what's it called? Some of these cameras have facial recognition that if you walk by it, the camera could save data.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell you, John, I'm not in favor of flock cameras. I'm not going to ever vote in the affirmative to place them in Middletown. I know several of my colleagues across the country are dealing with this very same issue. I've met with them several times, and I am certainly concerned with a lot of the answers that they provided when it came to the safety and security and the data management of these photographs that are taken not only of the drivers, but of their license plates as well, and how that information is shared is extremely concerning, which has really brought concern, I think, to not only Middletown, but to towns all across the country. And I don't think that now is an appropriate time with those outstanding questions to have those cameras in the township. Can't speak for neighboring towns, but.
Right. No, I only ask it because the other problem with those cameras is, unfortunately, the companies have made deals with the towns, and they've kind of bypassed a lot of the legislatures. They've kind of done that under.
Well, they still need us to buy them, and it's not happening in Middletown Township, at least not while I'm sitting in this seat.
Appreciate it. Well, just wanted to bring those two issues up. Obviously, it's a national issue, but something that could come here, obviously.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Any other member of the public wishing to make a public comment? Yes, ma'am. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you so much for letting me speak. My name is Julie Calora, and I live on Johnson Place, 1 block over from the Heigl location. And I just wanted to say that I am concerned about that property being developed due to the existing flooding conditions that we have on Port Monmouth Road presently. And my concern would be, I understand you auction it off and maybe somebody buys it, but where does all the water going to go? You know, there's a lot of water in those wetlands, and water doesn't just go away. They redirect it and they reroute it, and it could really cause a tremendous amount of flooding in other areas where presently there isn't any. There is where the Paper Road, Bayside Parkway meets Port Monmouth Road. There is flooding there presently, but my concern would be that it would really become much more severe if they were to start to develop those lots and reroute that water. So that's my concern.
Appreciate it.
And I thank you for listening.
Thank you
Have a
very
nice
much.
evening.
You too. Any other member of the public wishing to make a public comment? Yep, Vin? Come on down. I don't know. Depends.
Vinnie Moran, Leonardo, Tony, I've known you for 40 years. All right, I just want to thank you for the time we put in, the arguments we had. We come out battling it out.
Vin, you've never argued with anybody before.
You want to start now?
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you very, very much. And I do appreciate the time that you put into this town and what you did for this town. And my own personal self, thank you. And I also want you to remember, when you retire, there's 6 Saturdays and 1 Sunday in a week. Remember that. You got that? Or are you confused too?
I got a little ways to go, so I try not to think about it.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. I have one subject to bring up.
Yes, sir.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead, Vin.
All right. There is a problem over by the skate park. Okay? Not the skate park at all.
Okay.
So let's push that to the side.
Yeah.
It's the junkyard dog.
Yeah.
That place is a terrible mess. Okay? If you stand there looking at it, and you're looking at the building to the right-hand side, there is a truck with the trees that grew through it for the past 10 years. That piece of property does belong to the town. Years ago, when they put the hockey rink in, all right, he was told as long as he kept that clean, he could put vehicles there or whatever. Well, it's forgotten about. The building is falling into the creek. It has a tarp on the roof. There's trees growing into the blacktop. Right there as you pull in.
It drives me nuts, I know.
And there's pallets all over the place. And not only that, there is a pool cleaning company renting them buildings out that are by the creek, that are falling in there. All right? I happened to be going by there one day.
You just gave Tony Mercantante his last assignment right there, Vin.
I got to give him something to do for 2 weeks. Okay?
He'll be camped out there.
Okay? And I'm pretty sure there is chlorine in there. Now, should there be some kind of marker outside that building stating that there's chemicals in there? I got 2 ex-chiefs. Somebody answer me.
Any of the chiefs in the second row want to chime in?
Back there, too. I got a backup. Okay. I think what this town should do.
Registered as a business as well.
I'm sorry?
And it needs to be registered as a business, so the fire department actually knows what's going on.
Yeah, but what I'm driving at, the building's ready to collapse. I don't know what's behind that back of that building.
Well, Vin, why don't we do this? Since there are a lot of these issues, why don't we have Tony and code enforcement go out and our building department go out and check the building to see if it is even structurally sound and safe enough to have anything in there, along with a list of the other issues of somebody operating a business out of there and perhaps cutting down the tree that's going through the flatbed of a truck.
Yeah, I think you ought to have the fire marshal look into it too.
Okay.
Okay?
We'll take a look.
That's it. Thank you very much.
You're the man.
Tony, good luck.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Any other member of the public that wants to follow Vinnie Moran in those comments? Seeing no member of the public stepping forward, make a motion to close the public portion and adjourn.
Second that.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes for Tony. Last one.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to adjourn.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you all so much.